5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're live with Neve.
Mwahaha! Welcome! Friday, we're off to the races, people. I had the happy Friday. It has been a beautiful day, and now we've got rain and crap here in the Northeast. All right, people. Check it out, sports fans. You can't read it. It's mirrored. Too bad. Anyhow, I'll read it to you. Dear Neve, Mandy, and Irish, sorry for the delay, but here you go for a super fun time with everyone on your podcast. You're so fun and an excellent host. Flattery will get you everywhere. I so enjoyed speaking with you and the strategical musical groove machine Mandy She, a groove muffin if there ever was, and we know that to be true. So, I'm here, I've got Bill and I am looking out, you're out there, of our 1, 2, 4, 6. Out of our 7 feeds, 2 of them are down because of Facebook twaddle, and then another one that's Facebook twaddle, which is the one I hate, TikTok. We're just recently adding that to our feed. I don't even like going on that network. I know it's popular with the kids, and they love it, and I call them the kids because that's what it is. And there's all kinds of depravity, there's all kinds of crazy. Today's monologue opens up kind of weird because my tablet's getting screwy, but we'll fix that. All right. On news not fit to print, Fetterman insists he's in good health, but staffers no longer recognize him. I'm going to give you my opinion. He looks the same as he's done since he got in there. I don't know if they're saying that just because he kind of sided with the Republicans on a couple of issues. Not a hell of a lot, but people get upset over the dumbest things. He looks the same to me. He looks like a big, heavy guy who wears a lot of tracksuits. He ought to put a tie on when he goes into the Senate and a jacket. That's just my opinion, okay? I'm old school. If you're going to walk in the office of the president, you don't walk in there all skeeved out unless you're Kid Rock or me, somebody of substance, or Bill Puig sitting there in the back. He's lurking in the shadows, and I have a private chat here. Let's see this. he could read it. Well, let's see what we have here. He probably knows this. I very rarely go on and have everything go perfect because of our technical weasels and gremlins. I guess because I don't have Elon down here doing a good scrubbing of my tech communications. Let's see. The Spurs coach has stepped down. Popovich is out of here. 29 seasons. Warren Buffett, so far in trade war, steps up to the mic. Anti-American sentiment hurting McDonald's. It has nothing to do with the crappy-ass beef thing they sell that they call a hamburger. Unless you buy their $10 Ultra Burger. It's kind of okay, but I don't like giving them money, and the rest of their food's slop. I'm sorry, I don't eat it anymore, any of that crap. I might go to Taco Bell occasionally, but that's it. You can't get... If I really got... I can't think of a burger place I'd really want to stop that doesn't cost like $20 a burger. And sometimes you'd be surprised even a $20 burger in these days tastes like crap. Prince Harry is whining. I don't have a quick update theme song for this, but we could get one. He's losing his court battle over security protection. He's not liking it very much that he's getting his security. And it says then, reveals dad no longer talks to him. I don't know if there's somebody out slamming him or not. And you can never tell in today's media world what's happening. This, to me, really reads like his press flack, or whoever he or she is, sent out a bunch of misery texts, and I hate to say it, but misery, the more you commiserate on misery, the more you sit around and bitch, the worse your life gets. I'm going to see what the gist of it. Legal bear, it's caused a rift between his father, King Charles III, that horse-faced ass. He won't speak to me because of this security stuff. So apparently, Henry's pissed because his dad, or Harry, excuse me, is pissed because dad's yanking it. The little king to be or whatever, the other one's going to be king to be, but never know what's going to happen with these guys. Personally, if I was a king's son, the last thing I'm going to do is go on TV and bitch about my problems with my dad. I mean, really. So enough about the Harrys. It's the last line, though, that gets me. Wants reconciliation with the royals. Now, if I was King Charles, this is what I'd do. I'd say, listen, young princeling, you've been spoiled royally in your whole day. And so from this time, I'm going to give you an allowance. But you got to stay in California. Just go, run along. Here, I'm going to have my banker is going to call you. We're going to give you a decent allowance. You'll be able to do all the shit you want to do. Fly around with floozies if that's what you want to do. Whatever you want to do, you can do it. Just stay away from here. That's how all the rich people do it. And that's why they have like 20 kids, some of these people. It just, it makes sense to them and to me. So we have the first driverless semis are going to start running along our long haul routes. How do you guys feel about that? If anybody wants to pop into the comments and tell us what you think about that. I think it's kind of crazy, and I'm not a guy who says we shouldn't do it. I think it's going to have to happen. It's the way the world is. But when they say the first driverless semis, here's what I'd want. I want AAA to tell me which roads are these assholes driving on. That's all. Just let us know, So tomorrow when I'm commuting into, I was going to say commuting into Tampa, commuting into beautiful Gotham City, that bliss one gets from driving up the turnpike, or the parkway rather, and it's like, I don't know, 5 a.m, and you're doing like 100. Guy behind you is right on your bumper, and he's flashing his lights. You're like, just God. It just winds you up. By the time you get through the city, hit 150 potholes that destroy the chassis of your car, you might be a little uptight. That's right. So if you've got driverless semis in rush hour, I don't know. So that's what we got going on. Baltimore has some good news, which we like good news. Remember, because if it bleeds, it leads here on the Live with Neve show. Now, we have Baltimore reporting its lowest monthly homicides in the city's history. Employers have added 177,000 jobs in April, and unemployment stayed at 4.2. I think Popovich stepping down is the big story of the day, other than the fact that we've got Musk's back out in Texas annoying people with whatever he's doing. It's funny to me how the left and the right, everybody's like thought Elon's cool, and then all of a sudden he's not cool. I think it's a good time to pick up a cheap Tesla, people. It really is. Go out and get one. I don't care about his politics or any of that crap. I know a lot of you they're into boycotts and getting out in the street in your underwear, demonstrating. Yeah. God, man, have some dignity, people. And in a move that will probably piss off our Chinese friends across. Now, I'm going to say this. We have no bitch with any of the Chinese people. My kids were over there on vacation, and they said the Chinese people were wonderful guests and hosts. It's like here. If you were to judge us by our political class, you'd think we were all rapacious thieves, liars, rapists, and whores. Nobody's ever said something so kind about members of the Congress or the Senate generally in their 200 years of fuckery. But that's something to think about. Another story which is interesting is that can journalism give the horse racing, and that sounds like I'm drinking, the horse racing industry needs a boost. Gambling is out with the young, I don't know what they're called these days, but they're not having fun. There's no gambling, sex, alcoholism, or any other fun that we used to have in the 70s and the 80s. The beginning of an end of fun. Now, guys my age, we all got to eat chicken a few days a week. got to check in and measure their food. It's like, give me a break. Go out and get a couple of chili dogs up in New Jersey somewhere up in like Patterson. Which I think if I go to Patterson, I'll be getting a kebab because it's a little different than when I grew up there. So I'm going to bring up my cohort because our guests are missing in action. I don't know what the deal is. Hi. Hey, Bill.
Going, Neil.
Started. Oh, I'm doing great. It's a happy day. I'm sure our guests, or at least Mandy, will be in here. And I'm here with you. So how are you doing?
I'm doing all right. Thank you for asking. I have a theory about the comment you just made regarding horse racing, though.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think young people have anything against betting. If they did, things like DraftKings and FanDuel and ESPN Bet wouldn't be thriving the way they are. They just don't care about horse racing. They can bet on any kind of professional sports now, and they do.
That's true. Interesting. Well, you know, I've never been a fan of gambling, and it's just like in Florida, they put the lottery in. This was 20 or 30 years ago. Now, I just had a feeling back then that if we get the lottery, that in Florida it was meant to kill all of our all of our education. It's for the children. So when it came in, it gave the Congress a way to say, we're not going to fund anything because they got all this pile of money over here. And so it was meant well-intentioned. But as always, this is why we can't have nice things, because all these schmucks we hire figure out ways that are diabolical and devious. And they laugh about it. And it's not just any one side. I'm just going political today because nobody's here on our guests, so we can't do music. And I won't get too political because music's a better topic anyway. So the good news, people, there's not really any bad news this weekend. You know, you don't see any crap like, you know, Chinese first fleet heading towards the coast or anything. But, you know, we've been seeing crazy stuff on TV and really, peeps, look at the past 10 years. Who would have ever believed COVID wasn't part of a Stephen King novel? I mean, The Stand caught it pretty close to accurately. I mean, I decided to read The Stand the day I was told I had to maintain whatever they called that distance from people.
The safe 6 feet.
And then you had to shelter in place. I hated the sound of that. I don't want shelter in place. I want to roam, man, you know? Put the top down in the car and wail down the highway or something. Being stuck for that period of time is against everything in my, you know, soul.
Oh, the thing that made me crazy was when people insisted that you had to wear a mask outside.
Everywhere. Outside, in the car when you're alone. Oh. And now the facts show a mask doesn't do squat, people. It makes you feel good about yourself. Or the cat, he's trying to put a mask on because he wants to feel good about himself. Right, Spike?
You need to put Spike on
you, folks. I know. He's a rascal though because hold on a minute. Let me see what I can do. Hold that line, people. We gotta have a cat crossing here. Pats, you gotta go out. Go on. Come on. There you go. Go on. Go on. Good girl. All right, people. I have two cats, both of which are not really interested in coming on, and in the interest of viewer fun, you better have more fun if I picked up the one cat. She's kind of large, and she would have clawed the crap out of me. She doesn't like to be picked up, and I respect that. It's a cat thing. At any rate, so what do you think about these young people these days? They gamble, huh? Online with that fan duo and shit. I've never played like that kind of a game. And in fact, I know the reason I don't gamble, I never really took to cards. Blackjack was my game to play, solitaire. That's it. And I like to play Go, a Japanese strategy game. I'd rather play Go than play cards, but there's no way to make any money at it. And I know that just the guy I am, if I started gambling, I'll go off kilter, you know. I'll probably end up like trying to buy a hotel in Macau and put it on somebody else's card. Now we're going to do some simple rerouting of the checking account. No, I wouldn't do any of that because at the end of the day, I'm too afraid of being in prison Do I want to sit in jail next to Puff Daddy? Maybe be his cellmate? No, I
Well, just
don't.
betting isn't going to get you in jail. Betting and not
Oh,
paying the debts, maybe, but not just betting.
that's
I mean,
true.
it's not
That's true.
because the betting itself is legal now. That obviously wasn't the case until recently. I
That's
won't
true. Here in New
name names,
Jersey,
but a certain in-law of mine who was in the employ of certain families in northern New Jersey, we'll leave it at that,
hmm
actually had gone to jail twice for bookmaking. And I'm sure that he looks at things like FanDuel and ESPN now and curses every time he sees them because it's all legal now.
right. And there's no way to beat it. You know, it's funny to me though how so many since the government took over gambling, it was amazing how many casinos they just mismanaged so badly into the ground. And now they're leaving it to the professionals. You know, they got Seagrams and Vivendi, these huge corporations like the Dome out west. It's like welcome to the Pleasure Dome, you know?
Oh, exactly. I mean, the people who are running it now are MGM and Caesars and Golden
Yeah,
Nugget.
they know
These are
what
the
they're
people who have
doing.
run it for how many years in Vegas?
It's called maximum extraction of dollar value per body that walks in that hotel.
You
They
betcha.
want to just suck it out. If you're stoned or drunk enough and you're there and you're down on your luck, there goes the Cadillac you've been driving. There goes wifey. Oh, there goes the big condo and the place up at the beach. Poof, it's all gone. Poof, on the other side, it's your kid's education. Pretty effective commercial for gambling, I think. Um, I've always figured that life is itself a gamble and a real one. Just getting to be older than, say, 18 in the world, it can be considered an accomplishment in certain places in our world.
If
By
that's the
the
case, you
accident
and
of
I are
birth,
doing all right, my friend.
we are doing great by any stretch. We live like biblical kings, man. Other than we don't, have all the trappings. But who cares? Who wants all that? I don't want a bunch of servants running around my house. If I had a gazillion, which I don't know how high a gazillion is, but I know it's more than a trillion or a quadrillion, But the bottom line is it's a lot of money. And you only need so much. That John Mayer song, just a line above, you got to reach it. And then everything else is gravy. And, life's not meant to be easy, folks. But have fun while you're doing it. As far as I know, we can all have our religious faiths, but you have to also assume what if the worst case? What if we don't? What if we aren't? What if we're
Give
alone?
me my
Or
wife and
what
my
if
family and my friends and my music. That's all I want.
that's it? And that's the best thing for anybody on earth to have is good family, a good bunch of friends. And if you're a musician, we all just live for that. I was trying to tell somebody the other day, I've never not known what I was going to do since I was at least 10. And when I was 8, I was thinking about it because I'd watch these drummers like Ian Pace playing with Deep Purple, and I'd just go, "Wow, this guy's a beast!" And I would try to
He's
learn how to
always
play.
going to be that guy. Absolutely.
Yeah, and he's still as old as he is. You know what I don't understand is how his hands have held up. Because I mean, he's got at least 15 years on me, and I know my hands are a wreck. I've got big abnormal, arthritis bumps because 60, no, I'm 63. So really about the time I was 10 is when I really started working hard. But I'd been practicing and doing it from the time I was about 7, but with a little pad. And I hated playing on a drum pad. They bring you into a drum studio. There's a big Ludwig kit sitting there, and the guy sits you down with the Lawrence Stone book, and we're going to go right, right, left, left, right, right, left, left, paradiddle, paradiddle, paradiddle. Anyhow, it was a different time than today with all the YouTube and stuff. You see some of these kids we watch on YouTube who are just amazing, and they're 6 years old. Those Suzuki
Oh, yeah.
kids. It blows me. My granddaughter, I have to tell you, people, I'm just going to use this opportunity to brag. Cute as a button, smart as a whip, just looks great like her grandfather. And the cool thing about it is she's learning to play piano. And the even cooler thing is this summer at music camp, she's taking drums.
Oh,
Woo-hoo-hoo! I am so thrilled. And I hope she's like one of these young people I watch on YouTube. I feel good. There's a lot of young people out there who are playing jazz and playing all kinds of stuff that you'd think would fall by the wayside with all the devices. You know, we all love our devices. I love mine. If I lose it for a minute, I start having phantom limb pain in my ass. It's like there's no phone there. God, you know,
The thing that's so cool about that to me is back when you and I were growing up, women were not encouraged to play rock and roll. There were very, very few of them out there.
No, Janice, Susie Quattro.
Yep.
Hi, Rick. How you doing, brother?
Yeah, the Wilson sisters a little bit later, and Pat Benatar.
Yeah.
But there's really so few of them.
There's so few, too, that have made it. You know, there's tons of women who came up in the rock and roll biz and got eaten up and spit out like a chew toy. I know of one personally. Are you familiar with the band Mama Lion?
I've heard the name, but I don't really know the band very well.
Okay, they were a band that was out in the 60s. And my friend she was in the movie, she was in like the what do they call it? The trailer for Valley of the Dolls. She was a blonde, straight out of, central casting, 6 foot. Her dad was an actor. I'm not going to use her name because I don't want to put this out there. Some people know her name, but at any rate, a wonderful person, just really great. And she's been and had such an amazing amount of experiences. Occasionally I've seen her write a note. She's got the most beautiful King's English handwriting, Parker method, just perfection. Her dad was an actor, pretty well known. He was in movies in the 50s and 60s and commercials, and handsome kind of a guy, you know. So she was trained in music and dance and the whole Star Maker machinery. She was part of it. And it's a cautionary tale for any of these young kids that go out and they say, I'm good enough, I'm going to LA. Now, there's a certain idealism inherent in taking that step, but for all you guys out there, as someone who's tried to do that at a young age, there's better ways to approach it. And one thing I would say is be prepared. Go to a music school. Work your ass off and go to Berkeley or go to Rochester or Miami U. Go somewhere they have a killer program. Get your chops so damn good you smoke any of those smucks in band. People, most of the kids in band will never pick up their instrument again. Now, there's about a 10 to 15% group of band people out there who played in stage band and stuff, and they're playing music still at our age. I mean, I know some of these people, but I know a lot of people too in those classrooms that, you know, you see them at the reunion. Everybody has to go their own path. But then you have the people who, even back in school, I think everybody remembers them. They just oozed music and they were always working. The guitar player kid was always sitting around noodling. Same with the bass players and drummers sitting there playing on books and shit, annoying the girls who'd be like, shut up. I didn't have a bucket back then. It was before the thing about bucket drummers. They're gone. But while we're here, let me run a quick media asset for you. They have changed my control panel around. So I got to get into the media assets. We'll be right back. You're on Live with Neve, and you have Bill and I, and we'll be right back. Where'd they go? Hold on, folks. I'm Neil from Live with Neve. We have an exciting connection for our veterans country music fans, and there is something for everyone. Gone Country Hats at GoneCountryHats.com. That's right, we've partnered with Gone Country Hats, GoneCountryHats.com. See you soon.
Hey there, it's Kevin Sorbo here, and you lucky people, you are live. You're live with Neve or Neve or Neve. I don't know. I can't say the dude's name. Anyway, you're on live with him, so I don't know. I guess that's a pretty good thing.
There's some changes headed, like the Gulf Stream rising, like some gale that's been blowing off this wild bird island shore. And I can't say where, and I don't know when, but some old door's been opened in the restless shade. Poor man sagging cigarette takes the subway home. Rich man folding old regret steps on the rundown.
All right. Half past the hour. You are live with Neve and Bill Puig, and we're just sitting around goofing off like two old guys having a chat about the world's peculiarities, the strange, the weird, the daily press poll, all this stuff, just the general tenor of our times. This is going to be called the weird times, I think. Started about COVID, maybe before. It's always been weird, but we're in an exceptionally weird period now. You got everybody was worried when we were all locked down, peeking out of our masks. People bundled up with dry cleaner bags and shit. You remember that? People are out there with literally a dry cleaner bag. I'm like, I hope you suffocate. It's terrible. I don't really, but kind of maroon, excuse me, as Bugs Bunny would say. I'm maroon. What a maroon! It's just like the word fuckery. In fact, it's like something this guy would say. Hi, Al.
Protect your cats.
I'm a people alien. Come here, kitty. I'm going to see what other fuckery. Oh, this is what you miss by not living in Los Angeles, people. That is the freeway, and it's surprisingly empty, really. I'm just going through to kill a little time here because we're just laughing and yoking it up. I have added some new things. The company, I won't pronounce their name, but let me think how it rhymes with. Dream Hard is what rhymes with it, and they piss me off time to time, and right now is one of those times. What in the hell was that? I don't know what that was. It's some of my loops are in here, but like this one's one we all know and love. Neighborhood, a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? Now, okay, enough of that. And what happens is when people don't like the stuff they hear, they start throwing shit from outside. Okay, enough there. Jesus, man, these people are highly pissed. And we have some heavily synthesized moans. This is good. Check this one out, people. We're giving people a behind-the-scenes tour of modern radio. That's like a nice Indian track, make you think about smoking a little hash and boutiques on the wall behind you like some stinky room in college. Not that any of us were ever in any of those stinky rooms in colleges with the tapestries and the hippie chicks running around. It was a good time, people. I hate to reminisce too much.
We're old enough that we can admit that we were there now.
Yes, now that we're boomers. That's said with such sneer by these young fucktards. Oh my God. Boomer. I don't feel safe with you. Oh, fuck off. I'm not going to bother you, you dumb twat. I hear it all the time.
We grew up with all that shit and we survived, man.
Yeah, we did. And we're here and we thrived. And remember, kids, who gave you all these little toys you've got. Don't tell us all boomers or bummer, man. We gave you Led Zeppelin and all kinds of great things. Rush and music
Absolutely.
that's just, you know. And we have something that a lot of you guys just don't have. First off, good music. It's just terrible, man. I'm sorry, folks. When Beyonce sits astride with her ample hips, the country music scene, and gets a gold record and all those songs, I don't know. I'm sorry. I have to break with the herd, man. It's not a good record. It sounds like it was made by 20 different teams of people and rotating shifts around the clock, and then they spat it out.
Probably what was happening. I mean, that's how most
It,
music's been made for the last 20 years.
exactly. It hasn't got a bit of soul left in it. To me, it's just like this. Man, if I want to hear, you know what? If I was her producer right now and she called me and said, "Hey, Neve, well, I'd like some advice." I'm sure she's really looking for my advice, but I would tell her, let's make a record of great Motown hits. Let's pull up some really great stuff from the past and make a record with you that leans back, gives you something really different that you haven't done, and that people who are grown-ups will dig a little more than you, given bringing the strip club to the Super Bowl. There's a place to have the strip club at a Beyonce concert. I expect when I go see her show, there's going to be all kind of tits flying around and clothes and slanky ladies jumping around and great dancing, and that's what you're there to see. That's some people's idea of a great concert. I'm the old school, man. I just want to hear great musicians play really hard music or play really simple music because I go see Bob Dylan just as easily as I could go see Led Zeppelin or any of the new modern Dream Theater, some of the great prog bands. There's a place for everybody out there, and I think when Beyonce tried to me, it just shows how stupid. What happens is these record companies have just lost sight. There's no Alpert and Moss out there really that are musicians overseeing Alpert and Moss, and that's why records in the industry is screwed. The other thing that, and I don't know what you think about this, but I think the oversaturation of every possible kind of music, good, bad. Go on TikTok, people. It is a cornucopia of dysfunctional people, no self-image, and they're given a shot. Good for them. But they're not learning from their mistakes, some of them. And it's just, some of the bands don't understand how bad they are. And what happens is this trickles down into the work habits of musicians who are pros. You got these guys who'll go out and they'll bring a six-piece band in for $150. And they don't care about the money. They're just going to go in and they don't practice. And I'm not saying all bands are like that. You get a band of hot musicians who are all locals. I mean, we'll go in and tear up the place for a night. But there's a lot of really below caliber talent releasing material. So to find stuff, it's like going swimming in a kelp forest. You kind of got to get shit out of the way and you don't know what it is. As I say today, if anybody out there, I see there's 3 of you at the moment, if any of you guys can tell me the name without looking on your phone, and don't cheat, because Jesus will know. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that, people. At any rate, I don't know. We'll give you $1. What am I hearing in the background? Do you have a dog, Bill?
I don't have a dog. You might be hearing my wife talking to my daughter.
That's probably what it is. Don't mean to say that they sound like dogs either. I just meant that.
Well, they're about 2
it's
rooms
low.
away. So what you hear is probably just an echo of some sort.
It was like, yeah, just low frequency information. I couldn't tell what it was, just like a
Yeah.
rumble. And it's funny because even though I'm deaf at the post and the high frequencies, all the spoken ones are sheared off decades ago. My low frequency hearing, when I had my last test, the guy was like, "You're like subsonic, man. Your hearing's super great, like on the bass end of it."
You're used to
Excellent.
locking in on the bassist, man.
Well, you're absolutely right, but I also don't have any. We joke because drummers and bass players make jokes about each other, and I don't know why, because we love each other. I mean, nothing better than having a really locked down bass player and drummer. And if you have a great band,
He's the drummer.
you got
I'm the bass player.
yeah. Here we go. I'm this guy, Any rate, we'll put that down so I don't annoy anybody in the neighborhood. I will do that in a half hour when I get off. Hey, so I have to run out today after the show, which I hate doing on a Friday. Hey, Gina, what's happening, baby? How you doing?
Hey,
What's going on? Give us some news on what's happening in LA, man. I feel like we're stranded here. Hence, I have a picture of the freeway up. Yeah, that's the ticket. And now I can't find the freeway picture because it's here in media assets. They changed around. I feel like a media asset or maybe a detriment. I don't know. We'll figure that out later.
well, so
Where
long
did
as we're not media asses.
Yeah, I don't think we fit that. We actually know what we're talking about at least 40% of the time. Oh, here it is. Okay, let's get rid of that. That's just like too weird. And is that the best? They've changed that too. Piss me off. We used to be able to be, if there's only two, have it like HD shadow boxed. This is just all black. I'm not really digging it. But, people, the companies that give you the equipment to do what we do from here, they're really rigid, and the engineering staff never talk to the sales staff, is all I could say. Happens in a
Oh,
lot
it's
of
the
businesses.
technologists. We know what's best for you.
You be quiet. I don't want to hear your long-haired ass saying anything to me. I have a degree in electrical engineering, a master's. What do you have? Oh, I got a degree in audio production and fucking 60 years of fuckery. But I'll tell you what, here's our clamp. We've got a distro. Go out and hook it up to the power for me, will you? And come back when you're done. It, not, a lot of times, it's like the all hat, no cowboy kind of shit. Just pisses me off when I see somebody like that. And, you know, sometimes you just all hat and no cowboy, man. It's the way it goes. People who are really great just do it, man. They keep it moving. They don't complain about, whiny stuff. So we've got a few. What are you doing this weekend, Gina? Hi, babe. All right, we've got. Let's see what she's doing. Oh, Redondo Beach.
Pretty cool.
That is cool. That's where my first bass player, speaking of bass players, grew up. He grew up just a few blocks from there he moved to New Jersey around 73. And my mom used to haul him and me in a bass amp, a bass, and this tiny drum set in a Honda Civic. The trunk latched open. All I can say is it was good times. And we sounded awful, but, that's a good thing. It's the way tons of bands started. For you young people out there, you're watching us old boomer types. We used to actually have to play together and talk to people and look them in the eye, and they'd yell at you, "No, it's G minor, not G diminished." And they'd sit and snit over that. And being a drummer, I found it all rather mysterious in those days. Guys over there talking about no idea, And that was always a good funny image of drummers too. I get the caveman thing. I've met a few of them, and I might have resembled that a time or two in the long history of life, my youthful indiscretions here and there. Gina, who's playing at the festival this weekend? Anybody like really happening? Gina is our West Coast correspondent. Her and Toby have always found amazing shows and talent and people, and headliners include Train, Lenny Kravitz. Oh man, this is a great show. Wow. This is good for boomers and millennials. Wow, nice lineup. Lenny Kravitz has always been good. I like him. He's got it going on. Definitely. So, anybody else doing anything exciting this weekend? Are you playing tomorrow?
I am not. No, I was supposed to, but our show ended up needing to reschedule. So we're working on getting that done.
Okay. I posted that and should have known that. This morning I saw that. Just slipped my mind. I was doing the mass blowouts, and I quickly put something up there so people wouldn't drive out there, and you know how it goes. That's a bummer, but they'll reschedule, so it always goes on. Where are you next?
We are going to be playing in about 6 weeks, at the Kennett Flash in Kennett Square, Pennsylvania. That'll be a
Wow.
nice gig. That's right outside of
Yeah, that
Philadelphia.
sounds like right. It's kind of a downtown walk in the city kind of a thing.
Yep. Now, this is
Suburban.
a show that, if the weather permits, will be done out of doors on a rooftop. So it'll be a lot of fun.
Wow. Oh man, this sounds great. Up on a rooftop. How big? How many stories?
I think it's either 3 or 4 stories up. The
Wow.
lot below us is enough to accommodate about 300 people or so, which hopefully we'll get that many.
The can accommodate 300 people?
Well, the roof will not, but there's a lot below the
Oh,
roof, which is where the patrons will be.
okay, where the festivities are. Okay.
Yep.
Interesting. Hell, man, I might have to come out, drive out, and help you loading in. Something,
Oh, do it, definitely.
I just, I get my wife. Maybe we'll drive up. Who knows? We'll see what happens. It's still like a ways away. 6 weeks, you said.
It's on the 21st of June.
Okay. Little note here. 21st of June. And that's Legion of Prague, people. I'll watch your calendar anyway. I've got to do better about advertising Mandy's band when they're out, and you guys too. I work
Where
at it.
is Mandy anyway?
What's that?
Where is Mandy? I thought she was joining us today.
She was, I thought too, but apparently she had to work late. Her gigs kind of gotten a little longer, so I imagine she won't pop in because we're at quarter of. The show's been just flying by us, people, flying by us. Let's see if there are any newcomers here. No, not at the moment. It's interesting because we've been able to generate a surprising number of guests on X in quicker time than I've done with any of the other media that I've tried to put out there. We're up somewhere around 2,000 people with it, and it's only been on for a month. So, and the shows haven't been our best shows by any means. They've been fun and good, but guests are hard to get. People who are good are busy, and I get them when I can. I'm not sure what happened. I know our guests, and what I always think of, peeps. Sometimes gigs come up, and he might be in that scramble and just have screwed up and not mentioned to call us, and it happens. People forget sometimes, and I don't hold a grudge. I've been in a band and we've been riding to somewhere, and the guy calls and says, "Can you guys play tonight?" And I'm driving, and there was a sign on the road in Florida that said "Pigs After 5." So the guy says, "Well, what's the name of your band?" I said, "Yeah, we'll be down tonight. Load in. What time? 6? Okay, we'll be there." I didn't really have a band. I had all my musician friends scattered around. I got on the phone, rang up a few bros. We went down, got paid. It turned into like 3 months of gigs. It was great. And we never played any of those songs together the first night. We buffaloed our way through. But I always laugh about that "Pigs After 5." And I told the guy, because he's a confused Chinaman, he did not understand where we were coming from. Why you call? I can't imitate a Chinese guy. I don't want to offend somebody out there, so I won't do it. I just realized I'll have 1,000 pissed off people because I made fun of this guy. And I like to do imitations, peeps. What can I tell you? I'm not very good at it, but sometimes they're fun. At any rate, he didn't understand the concept. This is a guy who's serving riblets, man. He's thinking a big cleaver and a ham hock. It sounds good to him. But I had to tell him that we were pigs after 5 because we were all in college trying to get ahead in the world. And we planned to be professionals, which meant that we would wear our stozen during the day and then rip our shirt off as party man and go completely nuts and dance naked at the Daytona 500. Oh, yeah. All right, people. Well, this weekend, I hope whatever you're doing, I hope you have fun. And whatever you're doing, be safe, be careful. If you can't be careful, name it after me. I don't know. Can I tell you? So we're going to get out of here. Bill, I hope you have a great weekend at home, doing good stuff, family stuff if you get lucky. And if you got to work, well,
Well, it'll be a
comes
nice
up.
weekend for sure. I mean, one way or another, between music or getting something online
Absolutely.
with the podcast, one way or another, it'll be fun, busy stuff.
Well, great. We'll enjoy it. I'm going to do the same. I've got some new stuff for the show that's coming together nicely. Dave Look's been nice enough to give me a new tune to use for the intro. It slams. It's great stuff. So we'll have to put that prominently on the intro because it's great rock and roll. I mean, it sounds very much like 70s era Deep Purple and rock and roll. And there's a lot of influences there, including those Germans. What is those guys called?
Is that Rammstein that you're
I think it's either Rammstein or it's what are they called? The guys, they got a plane. They're drummers, Nico McBrain.
Well, that's Iron Maiden with Nico.
Iron Maiden. Yeah, he sounds. I just hear a little tint of it in there. It's like this great 70s rock and roll. And it's good. It's very heavy. The drums and the lyrics are great. It's very much makes me want to just put on my Howard Stern wig and I can just ponytail. At any rate, people, I hope you get a little flack this weekend, a little mercy, whatever you need. And remember, be nice when you can. If you can't, I don't know, just deal with it. Move on. Find somebody else to hang out with. We're going to be gone in a minute. I can't find our exit, so let's see. I'll give you a little Reach for the Sky.
Hey everybody, this is Steve from Reach for the Sky, along with Jay from Reach for the Sky. And you're listening live with me.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're live with Neve.
This is Live with Neve. Iconic musicians, comedy, and God knows what else. Hold on!